I think it's time for some guerrilla warfare. Welcome back to my channel. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers Kingdom, Voyager class, Optimus Primal. And if you're new around here, please remember to subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and leave a comment. So, let's get started. And we're going to start with the Kingdom box real fast here. And as you can see, we have Primal in beast mode. I like how the gorilla face is on the box art. And then we got him in robot mode here, which looks very, very cool. And he's standing behind the volcano there. And on top of that, we have the Ark landed right there. And on the side, we got the golden disc with all the Maximals and Predacons, Autobots and Decepticons box art there for Kingdom. And on the back, we have Optimus Primal, robot mode, 22 steps into beast mode. And I like that face sculpt for the gorilla. So that's it for the box. And now we're going to take a look at Primal himself. And as you can see, the face sculpt is very, very good. Very cartoon accurate from the 96 series. And it looks good. Overall, the fur looking molded detail that they did for the figure overall is fantastic. And on the back, they didn't give him, he doesn't have much of a backpack, which is fantastic. One thing I want to point out right now, and I'm not sure if anybody else did, is that I hope third party comes up with something, because there's these two holes here, like slots. Like you can fold this in, and you can probably come up with something to fold them back in. And what I'm trying, my point is that when this is closed up, there's enough leeway here to get maybe like his Prime Jets in here on his a third-party add-on kit. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't have any real big issues with this figure, other than there's this gap right here, but if he's standing just like that, you couldn't even tell. And underneath, maybe just a slight bit, but considering the transformation and everything else, for a robot mode, it looks absolutely amazing. And we're going to go over all the weaponry that he comes with. And first up, we're going to go look at the shoulder-mounted cannons that is very accurate. I think they're a little bit smaller, and this version they made them blue, so they would stand out a little differently from the gorilla mode. But in the show, they were actually like more like black. But it doesn't take me out of it. I think that's still pretty cool. They are blast effect compatible, which is another nice touch. Another thing, I was going through the transformation a couple times, and I didn't even realize that he does have his forearm mounted cannons as well. So, and they are also blast effect compatible. So I thought that was cool, and they close up and you can't even tell that they're there. So it's a nice little touch there as well. The other thing is, comes with two of these swords, and these are also his weapons from the 96 series that he does use occasionally. And they look really, really cool. Nice molded detail there. They did a really good job on these swords. And the other thing is, what they also added in is that he can store them on the back using this tab right here to go into this little hole right here. So you can plug them in just like that. And I think that's very cool that he can carry everything that he comes with. And we're going to go over the articulation with the figure. His shoulders can do a full 360. And this is where this figure is very, very tight. So I usually like to keep my finger here to lift up just ever so carefully, because I'll explain in a second. Because he does, you know, can do that bending motion. But with this joint where it is, it has he's on a butterfly hinge. And everything's attached to just this pin that's in here. That's where the arm is connected. There's nothing else holding this arm on except for this. So if you're putting too much stress, it's starting to pull on his actual chest as you see me moving. So you want to be very careful with that. That is a very not so good thing. So when you're going to bring his arm back down, you want to put your finger right here and then bring it down. So you're not putting so much stress on this, on his chest and this pin right here, because if that breaks, then you're going to be SOL, and you really don't want that for paying $30 for this figure. And right now this figure is pretty hot, where not many retailers have them in stock because they're already sold out from everyone grabbing them. So they do have that. He does have more than 90-degree bend on the elbows. He does have fingers articulation right there for his gorilla mode and sword mode, so he can put his swords in his hand, and I'll show that off a little bit later. So, but these joints are very, very tight on both of them. Another thing is, does have a bicep swivel as well. So the other thing is, he does have full 360 in his waist. So another thing is, he does have double jointed knees, but for right now we're just going to be doing the one, because if you lift up, set that down, it's just the way he has double jointed knees. Just want to show that off. But you want to have this slot right here onto this, so it's for robot mode, but he can get in some pretty good articulated poses for a $30 figure. Another thing is, yes, and those swords do kind of, if you bump them on the end, they will pop out, but overall, if he's standing still in a pose and you don't want to have them in his hands, they do stay there very securely. Another thing is, he does have some articulation right here, and then he does have some ankle tilt as well, and he can move a little bit up on his front toe due to the mechanics that they gave him for his feet, because he will be using them in beast mode. And here we have Kingdom Cheetor next to Optimus Primal, and as you can see, they look pretty well together. Their height and everything is scaled properly. And one other thing I forgot to mention, that Optimus Primal is on, his head is on a ball joint, and then these missile pods also can move to where you want them. And here is one final look at Optimus Primal next to Kingdom Cheetor in robot mode. And we're going to do the transformation from robot mode into gorilla mode. And overall, what you're going to do, you're going to come up here and you're going to grab, you're going to get your finger right back here, like my nail on here, and you're going to hold on, you're going to pull back, but you don't want to push on the chest piece right here. So you want to push on here and push back on here. It's a little awkward at first because this part is very, very tight, and it makes it very makes you a little nervous on, like, is it going to break or something, but it won't. You just have to be careful, make sure you're doing it the proper way. And then these missile pods can also fold back in here, just like that. And then Optimus Primal's head right here is just going to stay where it is. Then you're going to the front here, and you're going to flip this, just like that. Just line it up, and there's his gorilla chest. Then you're going to push this back down, the pin right here. You're going to push down on it till it's all the way down. And then you're going to bring, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that'll work if you keep Primal's head just like that. And then you bring this in, and it's going to lock in. So now you got gorilla head on Optimus Primal's body in robot mode, technically. So you're just going to leave this alone for right here, just unattached. Then you're going to come over here to the shoulders, and you're going to press down just like that. It's going to cover up this robot part. You're just going to turn his arm ever so slightly, and for the most part, it covers it up really, really well. And then you're going to do the same thing for this arm. Just going to straighten it up and then fold down. And just one thing I wanted to point out, I have, like, it looks like stress marks, or it's just leftover paint on him right here. So just be very careful. You don't want to deal with, you don't want to have stress marks already on your figure and you just pretty much got them. So you're going to come to the back, you're going to lift up this butt flap here, and then you're going to, let's see, so if I'm looking at this right, You're going to turn him like this. You're going to basically do the full 180, I'm sorry. And then you're going to take this part right here that was his butt in robot mode, and you're going to come down, and there's a little peg right here. It's going to go in a little one hole, and it's going to go down, and then you're going to snap it right in just like that. Okay, so then there's that. Then you're going to adjust the arms ever so carefully. And let's see here. Let's make sure. His gorilla arms are just a little sensitive there. But we're going to do the standing gorilla mode first. And you're going to turn this around. And it's just going to be just like that. And then he's already like in the animation, like the gorilla mode that he had, he could stand up like a gorilla can. They can stand up on just 2 legs. So you can do that. But the other version is to... So you want to get him like this. You want to turn his arms like this, and you can turn his wrists just like that. And then another cool thing is you can tilt his head up like that. So when he's down on all fours, he's looking forward like he's supposed to, not looking down. I'm going to lift that up real quick, but you want to keep... I'm going to show this if I can. Now I think I got that tab right there has to stay locked in with this knee to get the legs properly correct. And then you're going to do the other leg. So here we have them in gorilla mode, and honestly I am shocked for what they were able to do. That face sculpt, and we're going to get really, really close, and the eyes, the molded detail for the gorilla face is spot on in my opinion. I actually like it. I actually like this one more than the 96 series face that we got. Was more animated like. But either way, this one I like more. This is pretty cool. And the other thing is you could leave these missile pods out if you would like to. It's just an optional thing. I decided to put them away for now while he's in beast mode. Overall, though, like I said, the only downside I had was Optimus Primal on the upper part of his chest in robot mode. That was that little gap there. And then the other thing is back here. It just has that gap. This just, lays down like that. It doesn't do anything else. I mean, look on the back. I mean, you got his heels here, but that I can let it go, Now I'm really nitpicky considering this is a $30 figure. Now if they would have did a little bit more work on this figure and made him a leader class and just gave him more accessories and focused more on the transformation, maybe it could have been a lot better than what we already have, and I think it's already fantastic. And here we have Optimus Primal in beast mode, and also along with Kingdom Cheetor. And as you can see, I have Optimus Primal standing on 2 legs while he can be able to pound his chest, and that's the other reason why they gave him these butterfly hinges here, so he can go back and forth. It looks like he's going to be pounding his chest, and you can do that movement there. I think that's pretty cool, and you can have him in that pose on your shelf like that. Or obviously you can show him off in robot mode. The other version would be to keep him down on all fours. But the only thing is, I think it still looks good. But there's one more thing with the chest pounding before it changes his arms. It will show this. There's nothing you can do about that due to what we have to work with here, which is still pretty freaking cool. So we're going to hide that, and then we're going to turn his wrist like that, and then bring in his shoulder here. And I'm trying to be careful here because that hinge is going to start damaging the plastic there, and then you're going to tilt his head up like that. And now we can get a more accurate look of him and Cheetor in beast mode when they're both on all fours together. So you can see the size difference between the two. But overall, I think Optimus should be able to tilt his head just ever so slightly up, just so we can get a look at him. But overall, I think that's very, very cool. My final thoughts on Transformers, Kingdom, Voyager Class, Optimus Primal. Overall, he's fantastic. I'm happy I was able to find him. and also find a second figure of him at the same store. So I'll be able to pose Optimus Primal in Beast Mode and Robot Mode, but I'm going to wait until I'm able to find a Beast Wars, Kingdom Megatron to have next to him and decide if I want to get 2 of those as well. But overall, the Gorilla Mode is fantastic. Like I said, the only drawback is this is all like pretty much showing at that point. There's not much you can do about it. The other thing is the chest, when it's in robot mode, has a little bit of gap. So I'm hoping third party comes up with something for that, just to set something in there to cover it up. The other thing is, like I said, I pointed out these things right here. They have these 2 holes there where they can act, when this turns around and folds up for the robot mode, you can get his prime jets to stick out, so he has thrusters, so he can fly like he did in Season 1. Another thing I've been thinking about is that you can give them another upgrade they can do is the Axelon shield that he used in mostly Season 1 of Beast Wars. That'd be pretty cool. They gave him his swords, which are pretty cool, and you can store them while in Beast Mode. There's no issue why you can't do that. It's just looks a little off because he's in Gorilla Mode, but walking around with 2 Cybertronian-looking swords. But overall, I think it's still pretty cool. But that's all I really have. I'm really happy about this figure. If you haven't picked him up yet, and you can't find him at all, I would look on BigBadToyStore.com or Amazon or Entertainment Earth. I'm pretty sure they can still at least get you a pre-order in, so to make sure you can get this figure by March. Because everybody's, like Walmart and all the retail stores, are only getting in maybe like 1 case of each at this point, maybe 2, but they're selling out pretty fast. So that's it for this review. Thank you for watching, and I'll be bringing more Transformer content very soon. And I almost forgot. Here is the card that I got. It's Dinobot, Predacon, and if you peel it back, all I see is that there's Cheetor, Dinobot, Scorponok, Black Arachnia, Rat Trap, and Air Razor here all over the card. This text I can't even read, but at the top is the more important thing, is that it shows Predacon / Maximal, so then we know for Kingdom he will be a Maximal at the start of the show. At least he should be.